In this video, I show you how to make a wintry snow scene in a small home studio. Hello, I'm Gavin Hoey and you're watching Adorama TV, brought to you by Adorama, the camera store that's got everything for us photographers. And today you join me in my small home studio. It's nice and warm, it's nice and dry in here, which is lucky because outside it's freezing cold and wintry. However, I still want to do a winter-themed shoot, and that's what I'm going to do by using a few Photoshop tricks and a few props as well. So the first prop I'm going to use is actual snow, well not real snow, artificial snow. It comes in cans, it comes in powder. In fact, you don't even need snow. Check out the Photoshop bit at the end and you'll find out why. The other prop is going to be a lantern for our model to hold and illuminate the dark winter's night. But I'm not actually going to light the lantern. Again, check out the Photoshop bit to see how that's going to work. And the reason I'm not lighting it is it doesn't work. It's got massive holes in the bottom, would be rather dangerous to actually light. Right, okay, that's what we're going to use. Let's get this cleared out, let's get a model in, and let's get shooting. So today I've been joined in the studio by Kerry, who's going to be the model for this shoot. And as you can see, she's all wrapped up for winter, which is really lucky because it's going to start snowing in a minute, which will be fun. But before we get to the snow, we need to sort out the lights. So let me talk you through the basic setup here, and it is quite basic and straightforward. I've got a grey background. I could do this with a black background, but I think grey looks rather nice. And I've got a key light. Now I'm just using speed lights for this. It doesn't need a lot of power because the light is really close and it's going through a glow softbox. It's about a 70 centimetre, so a fairly small softbox. Let's just take a picture like that and see how this looks first of all. So Kerry, are you ready? Here we go. And that looks great. It's got a lovely softness to the light. The background is there, but it's not too overpowering. In fact, to a degree, Kerry is slightly blending in with the background. So to help separate Kerry out from the background, I'm going to add a second light. And this is just a second speed light. This time it's turned down very low in power, it's zoomed in, and it should just hit the back of her head, the edge of her shoulder, and give a little bit of light on this side to separate out from the darker background. So let's take a picture like this, see how that looks. Here we go. So there we are, we've got the same lighting on Kerry's face. The only difference is that light on the edge of the hat, the edge of the shoulder, and it is just helping to separate from the background. Now, it's not something you absolutely have to do, but I do think it adds that nice little edge to the picture. Of course, to make this really come alive, we're going to add some props, and the prop is just going to be our lantern that we've got for Kerry to hold. There we go, I'll give you that. Let's put that into the picture and see how this works. That's great, we'll do one more. And it's really important if you're adding a prop in, especially if it's being held further away from your subject, that you check the lighting. And it's best to find out if there's any problems before we do the snow. So for the snow, I'm going to be using this, which is theatrical stage snow. Really, it's a little bit like shaving foam, but it comes out of this nice little nozzle. And this stuff is brilliant. But I can't do it on my own. I do need some help because I'd like the snow to come in from behind. We really don't want to spray this in Kerry's face. That would be a very bad idea. So I'm going to hand this over to my assistant Sam, who's going to be doing the spraying. I'm going to be doing the photography. Let's set everything up, and when we're ready to go, we'll start spraying some snow. Okay, Kerry, are you ready? Right, let's get those lights tested. Sam, are you ready? There you go. So that's really good, and you might be thinking I'm just going to take the pictures whilst the snow is coming down, but we've got a little Photoshop trick to apply to create some more falling snow. So I'm going to take them both when the snow's coming in and after it's gone. So, well, let's do some more snow. Okay, are you ready? And that works really well, very effective. The snow actually on Kerry looks tremendous. Very hard to fake that in Photoshop. So let's see if we can just alter this slightly and create another look. So for the second setup, I'm using exactly the same lights. I'm still using a speed light in a small softbox. We've got Kerry turned 90 degrees to the side, so this will be a profile shot. But I've changed the background. We had a grey background before, which looked really good, but this time I've swapped it to black. And the reason is all about the positioning of the lights. Now, working in a small home studio, space is at a premium, and that means we are working quite close to the background. If I have a light here, the light is very close to the background, so if this was a grey background, this would be almost white on the illumination, but it'd be correctly exposed when it hits Kerry. So with a black background, it won't go white, it'll go grey, and it'll be almost black by the time it hits the back of Kerry. So it's simply a matter of choosing the right background for the right lighting situation. So that's great. Let's take a shot like this. I've metered this out already and see how it looks. Kerry, are you ready? Okay, here we go. So that looks really good. I like the lighting on Kerry's face. I like the light on the lantern, but if the lantern was actually lit, then the back side of the lantern is in shade. And that, of course, is just down to the lighting we've got here. So to add a bit of light onto the back of the lantern, I'm going to use the second speed light. Now this time I've got the speed light zoomed in as much as it'll go to try and make sure that we only hit the lantern. I don't want this to light the side of Kerry this time. And that means I need to get my position absolutely perfect. So Kerry, can I get you to hold that out as you were before? I'm going to bring my speed light round to the side like that. Let's take a test picture like that, see how it looks. So that looks really good. Everything's in position. The only thing we need now is a little bit of snow. I'm ready. Okay, are you ready, Kerry? A bit late. That's heavy, isn't it? Look, isn't it? Fantastic. Brilliant stuff. Okay, so we got some really good shots there. All we need to do is get one of these into Photoshop and do a quick edit, and we're going to do that right now. There's really three things I need to do to complete the image. I need to make the whole thing feel colder, I need to light the lantern and make it snow, of course. And I'm going to use either Photoshop or Camera Raw to do that. Let's have a little look at this image. This is the one I want to edit. And the first thing to do is to make it colder, I think. And I can make it colder here in Adobe Camera Raw or Lightroom, of course, same in Lightroom, by changing the temperature. So if I reduce the temperature down into the low 4000s, that adds a cold feel. That's pretty good. Next is going to be the lantern here, and lighting the lantern is a matter of using the adjustment brush. So if I select the adjustment brush, and I'm going to make sure that the exposure and nothing but exposure is changed, in this case maximum +4 stops extra exposure. Then I'll come down and make sure the brush is really small, so just a single figure sized brush. And we'll kind of pop it around about there somewhere. And with one click, that should put a small hotspot on the lantern, but it doesn't really quite look lit. So to complete that effect, let's come back and choose New for our brush. And actually, I need a bigger brush. Let's make that brush size larger. And I can come back over here and just click again, just somewhere slightly different, similar place, but slightly different. Oh, that's quite a bit brighter. Now, that might be a bit too bright, but it's definitely a bit too cold. So I can change the temperature just for that second click by adjusting the temperature slider. So we'll increase that to its maximum warmth, and we'll just pull the exposure down a little bit just so it's not competing with the face quite so much. Right, I'm happy with that. Let's open up the image. So we've made it colder, I've lit the lantern. Next thing to do is to add the falling snow. Now, we could do this by hand, but there's a really handy Photoshop action for creating falling snow, and I know it's really good because, well, I made it on my website, gavtrain.com. Head over there, type in the word snow in the search bar, download the action, install it into Photoshop, however you want to do that, and you're good to go. All you need to do is go to your Actions panel, find the snow action, click on the play button, and it'll play it through. Now, it works reasonably quickly, depending on the speed of your computer. It'll make a new image with 3 layers of different sized snow, and it completes it like that. If you want to finish this off, of course, you might think about going to Layer, coming right down to Flatten Image, and then I can take the flattened version of that into Camera Raw filter, and go for the radial filter, and we'll just put a bit of a vignette in here just to sort of darken the outside. I know I haven't got it on darken. We'll adjust the exposure and reset the color, of course. There we go. Lovely. And that just adds a nice little lighting effect that works really well with that snow scene. And with a bit more fine tuning and adjusting, there it is. There's my final picture completed. It's amazing how just changing a few simple things in your photograph completely changes the look and feel of the image. Of course, if you want to see more videos like this from myself and the other amazing presenters right here on Adorama TV, you should be clicking on that subscribe button. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.